Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today we're going to do an unboxing for Marvel Legendary Champions. So you can see all the new, the new heroes we have. We have Miss Marvel, Camilla Khan, Nova, Sam Alexander, Viv Vision, Gwenpool, and Agnes Chow, Totally Awesome Hulk. Looks like we get a fight against Fing Fang Boom and this clown guy whose name I don't 100% remember. Alright, so let's look at the rules quick. Let's see what new stuff we have. Alright, so we have the new Champions team. Which after this set they have released a few other characters to go with it, which is always fun. Excuse me. New keyword. We have cheering crowds. This keyword represents the champions being inspired to redouble their efforts by adoring fans. This means you play this card twice in a row if you return a bystander from your victory pile to the bottom of the bystander deck. Okay, so that's cool. That could work well with some various cards. So it says that you draw a card, cheering crowds. As you play this hero, you can return a bystander to play that hero twice in a row, getting 2 stars and drawing 2 cards. It says that first you play, the card was an instant card that gave you 2 attack. Okay, so you can use it to basically get your own superpowers. So the first time you draw a card and you play cheering cards, you returned it, you get it a second time, so it would qualify for the instant ability. Okay, so that's cool. It basically works for itself. As it says, if you played an instant card before using the double, you would get to use the draw ability twice and get the 4 attack, drawing 2 cards. If you say first champion card you played, attack twice, and then you play another card that says attack, you get +1 for each other hero you played. That would count as both of your cheering crowds you play. Okay, so every time you play it, it's just counting as an additional instance of the card for any effects. The other keyword we have is versatile. So this one actually appeared in the first major expansion, Dark City. So versatile 2 means you can pay either 2 stars or you get either 2 stars or 2 attack. So you get to choose to use either the recruit points or the attack points. You can't use both or some of the other. But if you use the card multiple times or multiple cards, you can choose one for the other. If you use cheering crowd, because the second time would be you playing it a second time, you can choose the opposite. Another effect keyword we have is size changing, which was from Civil War, and has made appearance again. So size changing plus a class ability means you can pay recruit this card for 2 less recruit for each, or if you played any covert cards this turn. So not for everyone doesn't reduce it more. You just play 1 and it costs 2 less. Some villains say size changing class ability means you can fight this villain for 2 less if you played any of his turns. The new twist on here is some villains say something like size changing and have 2 different classes. If you played any strength heroes, it's -2, and if you played any covert heroes, so if you play both, it would be -4. So like Fing Fang Boom, it says, and some of his monsters have size changing with multiple. You can pay 2 less to fight them for each of the classes you played. Doesn't matter how many, it only matters whether or not you played any of them. So if you play 4 of the same class, you don't get it multiple times. After you recruited a hero, size changing doesn't do anything else on the card. So if a hero already says it, and it gains size changing from a different ability, it just ends up with that. Okay, you can't have the same twice. So you can't give someone, they're not going to ever have tech necessarily. Another keyword is demolish. This came from legendary villains and Fear itself. So villains are back to demolish players. So demolish each player means reveal the top card of that hero deck, note its cost, and put it back in the bottom of the hero deck. Each player reveals their hand and discards a card with that cost. So if you reveal a cost that costs 3, you have to discard a 3 cost. If you reveal a 6, you discard a 6. Another thing in the set is double-sided epic masterminds. I don't think this was the first set that added epic masterminds, but going forward, every set from now on has epic masterminds. So you flip over your mastermind, it has a more difficult side to fight. Alright, so that was us just going through the various keywords. There's one brand new one, cheering crowds, plus a bunch of returning ones. I always like returning keywords because I need to mix and match them with the other sets that had them previously, and they usually work well together. Alright, so let's go through our brand new heroes. We have Adamish Chow, who is the... If I can get this to focus a little better, I'm trying to make sure we keep the light. Alright. Your totally awesome Hulk. So he does count for Hulk rampages. Anchor dimensional rampages. So you have Beloved Behemoth. I don't know why this... Is this why it won't focus? Is it picking up that thing in the background? So yeah, try size changing strength. So if you play a size change or a strength card, he only costs 2. Play a strength card. The first time you get a villain this turn, you rescue a bystander. That bystander will work well with your cheering crowd abilities. So here's those 5. Incredible Mind, Awesome Body, size changing tech. Draw a card, cheering crowd. So then you just draw another card, gains 1. Growing Pains, size changing. If you have a wound in your hand or discard pile, KO it and you gain 2 attack. Otherwise, gain a wound. So it works well off itself, but you just don't want to gain too many wounds. And 7th smartest man in the world. Size changing, he has tech and strength, which are what his cards all are. You gain +1 for each extra card you drew this turn. So if you do that cheering crowd, with his card you can gain extra. Otherwise, some of the other ones I'm sure do it as well. So yeah, so Total Awesome Hulk seems pretty neat. Strength techy character. Here we have Miss Marvel, Camilla Khan. The Long Arm of the Law. Size changing. Draw a card, and rescue another bystander. So good. So more reasons to rescue bystander. It's sort of funny that I'm doing unboxing with this set with all these rescuing bystanders. I just played the Captain America set and did a review for it. And that set has lots of savior abilities, which requires you to have 3 bystanders. So I'm thinking like some of these cards would almost mix well with that, because you could use their abilities to gain, and the other cards to gain bystanders to work with the savior, or you could sacrifice them to get your crowd cheering. So we have Big Impact, size changing, versatile 2, so it's either 2 attack or 2 strength. 4 cost cards that cost 2 seem pretty commonplace. Need to stretch my legs, size changing covert. Oh, the first card here has a champion's ability. You may KO a card from your hand or discard pile, and cheering cards. It's I don't know, for 6 that's a lot just to be able to. I mean, you can play it twice and you could definitely KO stuff to help you out. But yeah, 6 costs. I guess you could knock it down to 4. So it's not terrible, but might be an iffy card if you're not playing in the right situation. And then Rising Hope. Size changing, strength, and covert, which are both of hers cards. So far, each character only has 2 different types. Versatile 4 and cheering crowd. So I'll be able to play this and then discard a bystander to play it again. To have 8 of each, 4 of each, or 8 of one. That's pretty cool. So now we have Nova. Space Top is Versatile 1. Champion's ability, Rescue, Bystander. Alright, so that's pretty nice. 1-1, and you have a chance to rescue him. He's gonna throw the Hulk. I'm not really sure what he's doing here. Interstellar Hero, Versatile 2. Cheering crowds, you can use that again. Again, 4 cost to gain 2 seems pretty commonplace. Holographic projection. If you play a ranged card, he has versatile 3, so it can either be 3 recruit or 5 attack. So that's pretty cool. And he has, so far he has strength cards and range cards. So again, yeah, just the 2 colors. So this is going to be another ranged. Growing Nova Force, size change, range, and text. I like that they all, or size changing abilities all work directly with the cards they have. They're not dependent upon other characters. For each other card you play this turn with a star icon, you gain 1 attack, or 1 recruit. For each other card you play with a attack icon, you gain 1 attack. And it's just asking for the icons. It doesn't even matter if there's an amount on there. So drawing extra cards and stuff like that, this could get pretty beefy. But it also could be really weak if you don't have, if you only have 5 cards. The minimum could potentially be 5 either direction. So it's kind of a odd one to have for 9, because it could go either way. Alright, our next hero up is Viv Vision, daughter of the Vision, who's walking Wi-Fi. She's a tech character. So you're going to be playing other tech. Whenever you recruit a hero this turn, rescue a bystander. Alright, so that's helpful. Gets your crowd cheering ability easier. Expanding neural network. Size changing. Tech. When you draw a new hand of cards at the end of the turn, draw an extra card. I love that effect. She'll be able to draw the extra card. So she has ranged as well as her tech cards. So versatile 3 and crowd cheering. That's helpful, whichever you need. I like versatile. It makes these guys easier to slot into just about any deck. So this is kind of opposite of the Nova Force. Alter molecular density. So she has 5 recruit, but she can gain, whenever you recruit a hero this turn, gain +2. So with 5, she can at least gain for sure a 3 cost or more. So at least for sure 1 guy. But if you have like crowd cheering or drawing cards, you have a lot of stars, you can get more. Or if you're playing with like Spider-Man sets where you have like 1 or 2 cost cards, you can buy a few more that way. So I can see her mixing with some other decks and other characters. And then finally we have Gwenpool, whose real name is Gwenpool. Come on, nobody reads card names, so it's like she's going to play a lot like Deadpool to an extent. So versatile 1, or instead versatile 3. Don't even get me started on flavor text. So she's a covert instinct character. I'll rescue it if I feel like it. Reveal the top card of the bystander deck. If it's a special bystander, rescue it. Otherwise, put it back on the bottom of the deck. So that's kind of interesting, because I don't know, there's many cards that mention particularly special bystanders, and I don't think there's any in this set. I'm not for sure off the top of my head. But basically, like, she's not going to rescue a normie. So that's cool, but if you only have like 3 or 4 of them in your deck, or like you only bought 1 or 2 expansions, the card's not going to be very effective. I heard keywords are powerful. So she has size changing, she can draw a card, and she has cheering crowd. But again, 6 cost, 4 costs for 2. You play another one, but otherwise it's normally 6. And her final one is she's mostly an instant character. I'm the best at board games. She has Demolish, so normally a villain ability, but she gains it. So each other player, for each card that was discarded this way, draw a card. So again, what Demolish does is they have to, just gonna reread it to make sure I read it correctly. Reveal the top card of the hero deck, note its cost, and then each player discards a card with that cost. So yeah, this could be, for her ability to draw a lot of extra cards, that could be super great or super terrible, because again, like, you reveal the top and it's a 3. There's a lot of 3 and 4 cost cards, but if it's like a 5 or 6, or depending on how early in the game you're getting this or when you get it, you might end up making someone discard your entire hand. You get to draw a bunch, do a giant attack, or you could, just do a little bit of damage. That would definitely have to be one you'd have to make sure if you're gonna play it that you're realizing you're probably screwing over your team. Now we're going to look at some Masterminds. Alright, so our first Mastermind is Palazzi. Palazzi? I'm not sure. He always leads the wrecking crew. So I'm not familiar with who his character is. He was probably someone in the Champions comic book. So he has Master Strike 1 and 5. That's different. This card becomes a Steam Twist that takes effect immediately. So if you get a Master Strike on your first one, your 5th one, they become Steam Twist, which could really screw up a bunch of stuff, because some of them, like, you only get like so many and then you lose the game. Master Strikes 2, 3, and 4. You demolish each player. Alright, he's kind of a clowny a-hole. Comedia del Morte. So he's like a Spanish clown. Fight. Each other player may gain 2 wounds. Demolish each of those players who does not. Again, demolish is kind of a gamble. So you could gamble on it happening, or you could just take the 2 wounds and not worry about it. When you fight, you get Versatile 3. So Creative Assassin. So that's helpful. I like when bad guys have at least one helpful card. The Hint Clown has a Posse. Each other player may KO a wrecking crew villain from their victory pile. Demolish each of those players who does not. So yeah, if you want to get that. So if you're playing for victory points, that could be a good or bad thing. Because you might not want to KO those guys if you're trying to get more victory points. I don't generally play with victory points as being any sort of extra thing. We just have to beat the Mastermind, and then at the end we'll count up to see who has the most victory points. But it's not really the concern, because if player 3 can beat the Mastermind, we're like, dude, go ahead and do it. Don't try and save it for somebody else. So here we have the Wrecking Crew, which starts off with their leader, the Wrecker. Ambush. For each Wrecking Crew villain in the city, including this one, demolish each player. Ooh, so if you get a bunch, you could really hurt your hand. We have Bulldozer Ambush. Bulldozer moves an extra space forward. If this pushes any players forward, demolish each player. So if he comes out by himself, he's just going to get 1 extra space. But if the city is kind of full, he's going to push villains forward, which could push someone out if the city is full. And then you demolish each player. We have Thunderball. If you fight Thunderball in the sewers or the bank, demolish each other player. So the first space and the middle space. And finally, we have Piledriver. KO one of your heroes. Escape. Demolish each player. So he's the only guy that doesn't just have a straight up demolish effect, but if he leaves, you have to demolish. But to fight him, you lose one of your characters. So At least with demolishing, you're just discarding. Here, he's just like, nope, I'm getting rid of your character. So this guys seem pretty interesting. I can see including them in other sets to play against. They don't seem too terrible. I mean, obviously, all villains are kind of bad. So we have Fing Fang Foom, who's a 20. With size changing those, so you could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and play one of each. You could drop him down to 10. But even still, 10's pretty big. He leads the Monsters Unleashed. Master Strike, demolish each player, then do it again for each Monster Unleashed villain in the city and escape pile. Oh boy, that could definitely ruin some hands. Alien Dragon Technology. Fight a hero in the HQ, get size change any one of them. Oh, so basically you can get like a sweet, almost free character if you play your cards right. Flammable Acid Breath. KO the top card of the hero deck, and each player KOs a hero of that class from their discard pile. Oh boy. So that's one of the things that would suck if you're playing one of the multi-class characters, because then you have to discard or KO 2 cards. Multi-pronged assault. Each other player reveals at least 3 hero classes or gains a wound, and that's one that would benefit from having multi-class characters. And Supersonic Dive Attack. KO the top card of the hero deck. Each other player reveals their hand and discards a hero of that class. He's just discarded. So it looks like his stuff really is going to benefit you, or you're not going to take as much damage if you kind of spread your colors around. But if you only play like 1 or 2 colors, you're going to probably have a bad time. The Monsters Unleashed, we have Orgo. You can't fight Orgo unless you've already defeated another villain this turn. Well, it only costs 2, but you have to defeat another villain. Monsteroso, size changing, so he has 2 different ones, so I can bring him down to 1 cost. When you draw a new hand of cards at the end of this turn, draw an extra card. Okay, I like that one. We have Groot from the Planet X, not to be mistaken with Guardians of the Galaxy's Groot. Fight 2 bystanders from the bystander stack. Enter the city with 3 attack as splintered half-Groot villains. When you fight one rescued as a bystander. So you beat him, he becomes 2 3-cost villains. But when you defeat them, you gain them as a bystander. Alright, so that's kind of neat. And he can be dropped down to a 4 cost. We have Spore, size changing, tech, and range. Fight a hero from the HQ gains size changing of those 2 colors. This is one of the villain sets that have all different monsters, which is really cool. Ambush. Goom captures a bystander. KO one of your heroes. That's pretty standard guy. Nothing super special with him. This guy is ridiculous. Troll, the Unhuman. He's a bulldozer. Size change, covert, and attack. Ambush. Troll captures a bystander. Then demolish each player. Why yes, that is an alien entity possessing the world's most terrifying steam shovel. Zutak, size changing, range, and instinct. Escape, he demolishes each player, so you just take him out before he escapes. Tim Boo Ba, size changing all 4. Look at this guy, he's freaking huge. A 12 cost villain. But you can minus him by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 down to a 2 cost if you play everything right. All heroes in the current HQ cost 1 less this turn. Alright, so that was all of our villains. Yeah, those guys seem pretty... With the size changing, that could make them very interesting in some games. Plus being different, you get to see a bunch of different characters. So we got our 4 Steam Twists. We have Steal all oxygen on Earth. Excuse me. Oxygen level starts at 8. Stack this twist next to the steam. The oxygen level decreases by 1. Then KO each hero in the HQ whose cost is greater than the oxygen level. Oh. So basically, as the... doesn't make sense. Oh, it decreases by 1, so it's at 8, and it goes 7. Okay, so you're getting rid of higher level cards, and as it goes down, when 20 non-grade heroes are kept. This effect, though, it kind of bothers me, just the way some of these are, because like, obviously, it's be like, when this effect KOs 20 things, you lose. But it's just when 20 non-grade heroes are KO'd. So technically, that means if you're KOing your own cards for whatever reason, get starter cards out, you're losing the game quicker. So I don't know, maybe there should be like a separate pile for that. And maybe people do play that way. Maybe I'm just the only one that doesn't. Divide and Conquers. You have 7 heroes. Sort the hero deck by hero class. The card has multiple classes. Break ties at random. Put these five smaller shuffled hero decks beneath the HQ spaces. Whenever an HQ space is empty, fill it with the top card of the hero deck below that space. Okay, so you'll have 1 space for each class. So that way, if you're specifically trying to get a certain color, you're only gonna have 1 option, but you'll always have 1 option. 1 through 3, KO all heroes in HQ, and you get new ones. KO one of the hero decks. Oh boy. So that basically eliminates a color. And when all hero decks are gone, there's only 8 twists, and there are 5 decks. So so you have 4. These will KO the last 4. And they'll still have 1 to keep drawing from. So you might, that could be an interesting game. Hypnotize every human. Add another villain henchman to the group. No bystanders in the deck. Put a bystander from the bystander stack above each city space as a face down 2 Hypno Thrall villain. They don't move. When you fight one, rescue as a bystander. You can't fight a villain in a space that has any Hypno Thralls above it. Okay, so basically you have to defeat those guys, then you can fight the regular ones. Each player puts a villain from their victory pile into the escape pile. Oh boy, that. Each 8 villains escape, you lose. Okay, that's crazy. And then the final one, Clash of the Monsters Unleashed. 10 scheme twists. 6 wounds per player in the wound stack. So it's a limited wound stack. Shuffle 8 Monster Unleashed villains into the face down monster pit deck. So you can't use them as your villain for the game. Schemes or twists 3 through 10, so 1, 2 don't do anything. Each player gains a villain from their victory pile as their gladiator. When the top card of the monster pit enters the city, each player whose gladiator has a low printed attack, then that monster gains a wound. When the wound stack or monster pit deck run out. Interesting. I'm not sure which schemes I'm going to end up using when I play this. But it's definitely some neat stuff. So that was Legendary Champions. Some new interesting characters, some neat villains, and Masterminds. The schemes are always kind of all over the place. You're making 4 new schemes for every set, so you're gonna have to be a little creative. So yeah, check out my next videos. See you guys. Bye.